Hello, I'm Hatrix. Today we have some July balance updates and I'm quite excited. I always like to see new stuff. This is a smaller update, I think. Maybe it's just for me because some of these archetypes and builds I'm not much into, but let's talk more about that. So, new enchants, talents, new builds, revived old builds, buffs, nerfs, and in the end I will go over a summary. And quick disclaimer, have not played Paladin, have not played that much tank, have not played that much Area 52, but I'll try to go more in depth with the stuff I can actually talk about. So, Stormforge Edge, it's an enchant that wants you to stack up for big Storm Strike. This goes, I guess, hand in hand with Thunderslam and Stormborn, but I can see the implication for wanting to stack up Storm Strike, because in all builds that you want Storm Strike, you also just want to spam it, so seems a bit odd. Fan of Knife, and I guess to just say it all, Shuriken Toss, Deadly Throw stuff. For me, I guess McDoubles is not the best to base it on, but he had some good points in his video where he tested this new ninja stuff, and the scaling was just not the best as he said it, and I have to agree from the pure numbers, despite not having the best gear for the test. Elemental Reaver, gonna go more over this whenever I talk about the Elemental Assassin later. Greater Judgment of the Righteous. I don't know much about Paladin, but I know that casting Judgment each 8 seconds and then casting 2 big Paladin spells, this seems like a very great and very strong talent to go for, so look out for this. Frostfire Collapse. The best amplification for this is the Ice Shock, the other version of Frost Shock, and that is the best I can think of, and combining this with Elemental Assassin as well, but I haven't seen Elemental Assassin versions that much, and I'm not sure that they want to cast level. So for the new builds, Nature Caster, you can pause here and read all the small changes. The major ones are the Earth Pulse now get a better scaling, and from my understanding and what I remember, Earth Pulse Agony had a very good scaling beforehand, and one of the talents, Lightning Eclipse, went up to 0.2 seconds, so I believe on paper now that with crit capped you should be able to basically hold up a solar eclipse permanently, and with small changes like this it means that we are basically close to having a new build, and let's take a look. So again, if you want to pause and read more, please do, but the most important are the Earth Pulse Agony, and we're using small talents like all of these ones for this nature build. The core concept is now you have a lightning spamming build where you go into solar eclipse. You benefit the Earth Pulse Agony by, from Lightning Bolt, proccing Lightning Mastery, then cast a Wrath, and then you get the Earth Pulse Agony, and it lasts for a long time and it should do a lot of damage. Besides casting a lot of Lightning Bolt, you quickly gain stacks for Booming Thunder, the legendary, and you just cast a Nerf Shock to do big damage. The other things that were buffed is the Elemental Destruction. This is not the most used part because normally you just scale the Immolate, but the other part of Elemental Destruction is you gain 2% increased damage for Lightning Bolt, stacking 10 times, so with the buff this will be 3%, so 30% increased damage, and Elemental Destruction is probably decent damage because it scales with nature damage. But Hatrix, whenever we use Elemental Destruction, when we cast Immolate or Conflict, we will reset the stacks. Well, we don't have to because we can use Control Destruction, and we don't even have to cast Conflict because we are a nature build, and we can use the Pure Chaos Bolt to do different shenanigans. I don't think there's that much anymore, and at least for this build, but maybe you can find some nice things to use it with. So again, same rotation, but you just fill in Pure Chaos Bolt every 12 seconds to refresh the Immolate. And the last little nice tip is that Insect Swarm modifiers is Earth Pulse Agony, so it will benefit very strongly from talents like Celestial Bane and Critical Cycles and really amplifies your nature damage. And so overall, a lot of people have asked whenever I do these, can you just post a big screenshot of the impossible talents? Of course, try to take this with a grain of salt. These are not tested, this is just like suggestions from what I would probably go for whenever I would try this build, and you can fill in the last talent with 3% increased damage modifiers. And for abilities, start abilities, take the base abilities for the build and replace with life tap if you want more life, and ability suggestions. Revive build, Harbinger of Pestilence, you can read the changes. Overall it's just a lot of small buffs that hopefully will make this build compatible, and can't wait to try it. Overall, I think this will probably make it a A tier build. It has to take a lot to make a build S tier, and I have to see it for myself if that's gonna be the case. So they also did some small changes for Levelash. it seems like it's mostly trying to buff the Lavalash Ice Slash. These are used in different like Shaman type build, and besides buffing Lavalash, it seems like there was some nerf from all of the different talent that Lava Sweep uses as well, because Lava Sweep is also a very strong build right now. Other revived builds, Paladins, can't say much. I had a friend I talked with about the changes. He seems kind of impressed, but was also a bit skeptic if this was enough to make Paladins A tier, or from what I've seen at least viable. Maybe try to combine this with some Frost stuff. We're gonna see a picture of it later, but that is some applications to do that. The other revived build, Frost Mages, and sorry, as the image says, I haven't seen good proof of concept of Frost Mages yet, and these talents didn't seem that they would take it over the edge. Maybe I'm missing something, but I wasn't convinced. And same goes, I put it in the same place, but Rogue, Warlock, Hybrid, and Shadowcat, probably gonna be nice meme playstyles. Maybe it's insane for PvP, I don't know, but put them here. Not sure how to make of it. It seems decent and fun. So the last build is an archetype called Elemental Assassin, where you use Storm Strike, you use Backstab, and you use all the Shaman Shocks. This is a very nice and cool playstyle. Is it enough, all of these changes, to make it viable, combined with the Flame Shock and stuff? I am not sure. Before making this video, I heard that Elemental Assassin is viable, so maybe this will take it from a C tier to A tier. I don't know, but we will have to see someone make a video or proof of concept of this. So the rest of the article was buffs and nerf. So to the left, all the buffs: Deadly Bite, Small, Melee Hunter combined with Warrior stuff. I think this was actually close to viable, like C tier, maybe A minus, so maybe taking a bit up. Dark Intent, very fun and strong playstyle, so already strong build, but buffing it even more. Thunder Seer, not convinced. Have never seen anyone play it in Season 9, so not sure if it needs more like buffs to make this viable. So for all of the nerfs, some I know some of and some I don't. The ones I don't know of is Arctic Fugo. I have only heard that people are using Stormborn and some Explosive Shot and can do insane stuff with it, and used for Mythic Plus. Very small nerf, but probably someone doing insane shit with it. For the Ice Prism nerf, this is a picture my friend sent me, and the build he have heard people using for Mythic Plus. I have not seen it and not been much into the Mythic Plus scene lately, so this is just what I haven't known. So yeah, seems like this was maybe one of the reasons why Ice Prisms was nerfed a bit. I think it was 2 balance changes ago, or when chapter 2 was released, but Titan's Grip saw a little to a bigger major buff, and this resulted in, when we got better gear and better Mythic Plus gear, that Titan's Grip rose to the top, and people and other YouTubers, credit to Upto and VXLVT, got like crazy build with 70k DPS and some of the highest number I've seen in Season 9, and probably the reason why Titan's Grip was nerfed a bit. And for the last build, Serpent Venom and Primordial Fury was nerfed. I think the biggest contender for the nerf was the Nature Cat, and Nature Cat recently had the buff of being able to use Shamanistic Rage and Shapeshifted, and this meant that they were now able to abuse Primordial Fury. The reason why this is so strong in Nature Cat, they scale nature damage anyway, and they just have a very high attack speed, meaning they get a lot of rage from stuff that they don't spend on anything else, and yeah, and they are just able to spend the rage very quickly as well, so meaning that they are abusing the heck out of it. So very strong build, and also meant that slight nerf. So don't have more. Sorry tanks out there, I haven't played tanks, so can't talk much about it. I hope some Paladin or other tanks will cover it in the future or nearest future, because there's some very interesting changes and build possibilities. For these set of changes, small changes are, and the direction, I think this is good. It's like a closed environment of trying to buff 2 to 3 things. I maybe hoped it could happen a bit faster, but it's probably also now a good time, combining with next coming out soon, and if you want to do the nerf, just do them all together, and you can see the results on a smaller scale, so you don't have like random new talents or REs and stuff buffing random builds you haven't thought of, and now there's a lot of balance issues, and you had to do like emergency balance changes and stuff. So yeah, overall, I like these, but I wish we saw them a bit more often, at least for the buffs for underused specs. And lastly, for what archetypes are we missing, from top of my head, the only one I can think of is the pet build, the hunter pet build. At least what I've seen, and nobody has at least given proof of concept that hunter archetype is not viable. The only like really pet build we have is the Felguard demon something, but abusing and buffing Felguard, but it, to me, it really doesn't seem like a pet playstyle or Beastmaster playstyle. It's more like a very weird, using a lot of different abilities, combining a very cool build, but not really Beastmaster in my mind, sadly, but very strong build. So that is it for this video. I hope you maybe learned something new or got inspiration for maybe the new caster build or something else, and maybe inspiration from the other top builds that were nerfed. The nerf builds are still very strong. They are just taken down a notch, so they're not S tier anymore, and yeah, more balanced, as this is the intent for. And yeah, I probably gonna make a few more Valenir builds if you have seen that series. I have a fun right now with another private server, so check my videos and if you could be interested in that. And whenever I get a key for Conquest of Azeroth, I am also keen to check that out. It seems a lot of fun and I really like the concept. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next one.